So this is like the 5th time now I've actually recorded this video because I can't seem to get my words out properly. It's just, I want to try and explain myself where I want to talk about Space Marine 2 and I want to talk about how I want it to be a successful game with features added into it. One of the things I'm hugely scared of is Space Marine 2 being a failure. And that's not because I want to shill for the company or anything like that. It's because I just want a decent Warhammer 40,000 game. Over the past couple of years, we 40k fans really haven't had the greatest time with video games. Yes, we've had games like Deathwing, which again, it had a fantastic single player campaign. Visually, it's probably one of the most stunning Warhammer games out there, but it just felt flat. Like after you finish a single player campaign, there was nothing else to do. It was boring. Battlefleet Gothic, an amazing RTS game. Once you finish a single player campaign, yes, it got a bit tedious, a bit boring. Some of the missions were very, very repetitive and stuff like that. But again, visually, a bloody fantastic game. You can probably argue this about most of the 40k product line when it comes to video games, is that it's fun, but then it gets boring very, very fast. And this is something I don't want to happen to Space Marine 2. I want this to be like a cultural icon in the gaming service. I want this to be as big as like the original Space Marine back in the day. I want it to be as big as like the original Dawn of War games when they came out and the influx of fans came into the hobby because how special this game was. This is what I want for Space Marine 2. So if you just lend me your ears for a couple of minutes, I just want to waffle on and talk about how I would love Space Marine 2 to be successful using some features which I think would massively benefit it. So first things first, let's talk about the single player campaign. I do think the single player campaign is going to be a massive feature of Space Marine 2. I still think the multiplayer side is going to be the biggest feature of it, but I still think the single player campaign is going to be one of the core elements, one of the foundations to making this game great. The reason I say that is because if you talk about the original Space Marine game, 9 times out of 10, the thing that pops into people's head is Leandros, Titus, the betrayal, everything that happened in that story. You know, Meme Roth, you know, he's become a meme now, Meme Roth and stuff like that. All these things that go around that game that are still talked about today. So taking that and then making it even bigger, even better in Space Marine 2. Yes, we're not fighting orcs anymore. We are fighting Tyranids. That itself is going to be a whole different experience. From the gameplay trailer that we saw briefly in the announcement trailer, it looks very, very epic. It looks bloody gorgeous. You know, waves and waves of gaunts. You're going through there, just like piling through, slashing, cutting, killing, just like we used to do with the orcs. So I am excited for that aspect of the game, but I think they really need to understand, and I actually do think they do understand this, is how much pressure is actually on them when it comes to this, because when you look at Titus now, there's so many bloody questions that we have. What has he been doing for the past 200 years? Did he go with the Inquisition? Did he go with the Death Watch? Was he Chaos tainted? What's happened to Leandros? Is Leandros a heretic? Is Leandros the veteran sergeant? Is Leandros like an officer? You know, I've been like memeing and saying like Chaplain Leandros. There's so many bloody questions now that they need to have answered in that single player campaign. And again, it's a lot of responsibility to get that across, because we 40k fans, we're probably not the best people to try and please. It takes a lot for us to try and bloody please. And I think one of the ways they could please us massively if they actually added a co-op campaign to the single player. I know we've been talking about this on live streams and stuff for the past couple of days, but I really do think if they had that option, if they could get that in there where you could play with your friends in the single player campaign, I think that would be absolutely massive. That was one of the things for me that Space Marine, the original, missed out on. You had Leandros, Titus. If only we could play missions where you had those chaps by your side with your friends. I think that would have been way more cooler. Sharing that epic purge experience with your bloody friends is a whole different level of fun. Now, the way I look at this is that if this game is going to be successful, I really do think the multiplayer has to be a great experience. If we look again at games like Deathwing, again, fantastic single player game, really enjoyed it. Battlefleet Gothic, you know, fantastic single player game, really enjoyed it. But those games died very, very fast. And I personally think the reason why they died fast is because of the multiplayer. There wasn't people there coming back, having more fun, because there was just no one playing the game. There was just no one there doing it. So, you know, you don't recommend it to a friend. Yeah, come and jump on. We can jump on. We can purge other people together. We can have fun. It's an amazing experience. We had none of that at all. What we got was basically like just a multiplayer where it just died after a while because there was no support for it. There was no mod support, no spectator, no chat rooms or anything like that. Look at the original Dawn of War games right now, like Dawn of War 1, Winter Assault and stuff. They are still hugely populated because of the community based around those games, because the multiplayer scene allowed the community to build itself within the game. It's the same with Space Marine, the original game right now. The only reason that game is still going as it is because of the community based around that game, jumping in, having a laugh, chatting to each other in the chat rooms. They gave us the tools to build a community around that game, and we kept that game alive. Now, I really hope that the developers actually notice this and take this on board, that if they want this game to last long, then they need to add this into their game. What I'm hoping for at the bare minimum in Space Marine 2 is something that we've got now in Space Marine. A lobby where we can select our games, a chat room to chat to people before games, tools for a private lobby so you can invite clans in, do clan games and stuff like that. In the ideal world, private servers would be fantastic. Spectator cams would be amazing. You don't know in this day and age right now, with the way PC gaming is and the way gaming is in general, to have a spectator cam so people can watch clans fight each other. You can basically set up leagues, tournaments then, which bring more foot attention, more eye attention to it, with streaming and stuff. Imagine you have like two massive, awesome clans and they're fighting each other for like, I don't know, like a prize tournament or something, and you, the viewer, could then watch that via the commentator who's doing it on a spectator cam. It brings so much more attention then to the game if you add these little things into it. And then, again, that brings more longevity to the game. That brings more people in to buy the game, which then, of course, means that if the game's selling successfully and it's making all this cash, they can add, you know, like more expansions, more maps, more weapons, more skins, more stories, you know, everything like that. It really does help everything if you invest properly into the community of these games. Now, I've mentioned this before, like, again, via live streams and even a dedicated video player count. In the previous game, we had 8 versus 8. You know, it was a decent size, you know, 16 people in the game. Yes, we did have the P2P service that people complained about, but my argument is that if we didn't have that P2P service, then would Space Marine still be around today? That is the original game. So, you know, it may be a bad thing, but also it was a good thing in the long run. For me, like I mentioned, you know, dedicated servers would be an absolute amazing thing, but player count, I think it's time to bump up the player count. I would say at least 10 versus 10. So at least it's a 20 player actual server now. For me, in a perfect world, maybe 32 players in a lobby, but of course that would mean making the maps bigger. In terms of maps and, you know, online play, that experience is a whole design hurdle itself. You know, making the maps fun, making them flow good. Now we're in this day and age, I would love to see, like, you know, maps that actually you can interact with, like exploding walls, doors, barricades, auto sentries, you know, all these little things that you would expect on a battlefield. Maybe they can implement that type of stuff into the multiplayer scene to add a bit more fun, a bit more narrative, let's say, into the actual battlefield you're actually playing on. I think we all just want this game to be a success. I know I do. You know, we've waited so long to have something like this announced, and we just want it to be good. It's as simple as that. We just want it to be good. We've been let down by like games like Dawn of War 3 in the past, when we got that trailer and we was hugely excited, and then everything that happened after it, you know. So it's kind of like that voice in the back of your head saying, yeah, you want it to be good, but is it going to be good? Is it going to go down the toilet? Is it going to be crap? And at this point in time, since we've seen nothing of it, I think we just have to have faith. We just have to hope that it actually does turn into the product that we all bloody want. And hopefully it lives up to the name of Space Marine and gives us as much fun, as much hours, as much purging, as much laughs as the original game gave us, and we can all look back on this video and say, do you know what? Yeah, it's an absolute fantastic game, and I'm absolutely enjoying it. Anyway, Chaprunios, thank you for lending me your ears. Yes, this was just like a random video. I don't know, I just want to talk about Space Marine 2. I'm still excited about it ever since the bloody announcement. We really haven't had that many more details on it. Hopefully that'll change within the coming months, coming weeks, I don't know, whatever. Come on, we just need some more information on this game. We're all hyped. I just want it to be a success. I want to be playing this game so much. I want to do so much content dedicated to it. You know, play with you chaps, you know, clan battles, have laughs, just all the awesome stuff that I got out the original game. I just want this to carry over to this game and like have a new era of Warhammer 40,000 gaming. Again, sorry, I'm just waffling on now. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. If you've got any thoughts, feedback, anything like that, post it down below and we can have a nice little chat down there as we always do. See you now. Have a great day and bye-bye.